LA County Fire, that hose that you see right there just getting here on scene. They've got helicopters inbound as well. Of course, there's a lot of worry about any kind of brush fire type of situation out here. Right now, they're saying it is a single-family home. When we first arrived, we thought maybe it's under construction, but it looks like it is just an older home, all wood, so this thing is really, really burning. When these firefighters first got on scene, of course, life is one of their major concerns. Not sure if there was anybody inside this home or not. LA County Fire, they do have a helicopter inbound. It's going to be curious to see if they actually drop water on a structure or maybe just try to cool the plants or the vegetation around it. Right now, though, it's a situation where first responders just getting out here. SkyFOX was here as well, pretty much right out the box. But you can see fully involved structure out here, and this fire is still going in the Topanga Canyon State Park area. I'm Stu and SkyFOX. We're going to throw it to break. All right. And for you folks there on Facebook, we're taking a look at this. This is one of those things. There you go. You got LA County firefighters right there on scene. SkyFOX, no lie, here before the helicopters, not bragging, we were just geographically convenient to the fire. You can see that, I don't know if he did a drop, just trying to cool the area around it, or if they're actually going to drop on that building. Some of the folks at home, I can't really watch you guys. They got hoses on it, but if you guys are like joining us just now, I can't read your comments quite yet, but if you're wondering why they just don't drop water on a structure like that, well, take a look at that. That is a building. That's a lot. That water actually weighs a lot, and it could collapse the building. It's going to drop on the building? Oh, really? Oh, he's dropping near the building. So the reason why they don't drop on it is because that building could actually collapse, throwing flame and embers in all directions. So what they're going to do is they're going to use that helicopter to cool the vegetation around that home. If you guys are joining us, this is actually in the Topanga Canyon State Park area. We're at the apex of the hill. So we're at the top, at the very, very top. Vinny's going to give a great wide shot there, and it shows you no winds out here, or very, very light winds. This is huge for the firefighters. If we had some sort of wind event, this could be an entirely different type of situation. Smoke going straight up indicates very light winds. It is a home. We don't have any information about anybody inside that home, but you can see very well involved with fire. That's a firefighting term. And first firefighters getting here on scene, they basically were telling them we need all the resources that we've dispatched, plus, so you can keep an eye on this. We're going to be staying here. We'll stay here for a little bit. But LA County Fire on the ground, hoses being pulled, other units just arriving here on scene, at least one helicopter from LA County Fire here on scene. Also, we know that LA City Fire will be joining him as well unless they get canceled. And that's a deal that LA County, LA City have got going on right now. Basically, whenever there's a brush fire dispatch, if it's in city, county will send a fire helicopter to help fight the fire, and if it's in county, city will send a helicopter to help fight the fire. So right now, helicopters still arriving out here, firefighters on the ground. Of course, we're concerned about if anybody was inside this home, a wood structure. This is in Topanga Canyon State Park, and it's going to be off of Saddleback. That was the address. I don't remember the exact numbers on Saddleback, but Saddleback's the street name. And we're going to keep an eye on it. Of course, nobody's made any entrance into that structure. Really, they got a fixed wing coming in too. The scoopers are coming. This is the thing. The scoopers, they picked up they leave loaded with water. So when they arrive here, they can do a drop right out the box. And if they do that, again, it's the same type of situation. They're just going to try to cool the vegetation around that home. And there's also other small structures nearby, so it's going to be interesting to watch and see how they handle this and how they go about fighting this fire. Again, this is going to be in the Topanga Canyon State Park. And I'm talking slow and weird like this because I'm trying to get to Facebook to see if I can follow along with what you guys are writing me. And I don't have enough internet. Yeah, they're not going to let these guys drop water on it. I don't think so. I know, I appreciate it. Topanga Canyon house fire. I got the little live moniker, but it's not enough. I don't have enough to make it go. This is sad. There we go with cooling the vegetation around the house. There he goes. Nice drop. Watering the plants as it would be. Just because I'm kind of new at this with a lot of new viewers, I'm going to kind of toss this out here in the blind. If you guys are just joining in and you're saying like things like, does this guy know his mic is live, and weird stuff like that, the reality is this is kind of a little bit, I would call it news light, a little bit more behind the scenes type of deal. We are reporting, we are talking, but we are clearly, I'm in the helicopter, I've got other radios, and I'm here with other folks as well. I'm not mainly focused on the reporting. I am mainly focused on the reporting, but I do get distracted very easily. Anything shiny will grab my attention in a heartbeat. So at any rate, if I wander off or start talking about something else, it's probably because I'm answering other questions from somebody else asking me something. I wish I could interact with you guys. I have the picture up. It says live, but there isn't enough here to make it go as it would be. So I can't follow along. Huh? No, yeah, bandwidth. So looks like a barn in the back. That's what I finally got right there. So you know, this is no. It might look like a barn, but I can tell you that is a house, a freestanding home out there. So at any rate, yeah, it was a freestanding home, and this area is very, very remote. And this is one of the things you got to think about when you build homes up here. It's not just who's going to drive to Home Depot to get the screws when you're hanging a new picture on the wall. This is you have to think about first responders. You know, they got the call of the fire. They made their way here. We actually got here just with the first fire trucks on the ground. So, Drew, I like that. Yep, and that's what they're doing. They're working to stop the spread of the fire right now. They're trying to make sure that none of that vegetation gets involved. There is very, very light winds out here today, which is huge for those firefighters. Not Canoga Park. Did I say Canoga Park? If I did say Canoga Park, I'm sorry. I better not start laughing. You know it, brother. But yeah, this is in the Topanga Canyon State Park area, right at the very apex of one of the hills out here. So yeah, there are hydrants out here. There are, Michael. Somebody was yeah, they're releasing the helicopters already because the ground units are they're gonna have a handle on it, and they're being able to contain the fire. But so the helicopters are going to start leaving here pretty soon. And as far as hydrants, of course they have hydrants out here. There might not be as close by. There might not be as many, but definitely have hydrants. So all the aerial assets except for SkyFOX are going back to base, meaning the Quebec's, the water droppers, they're going to be heading back, and of course the helicopters heading back as well. People worried about life and limb, and I am right there with you. But at this time, they're saying that you know, we're listening in best we can. They're unable to go in and search because of the amount of fire that we're seeing right there. So they might be able to talk to neighbors. They might be able to get some information to know if anybody's there, if they have any information. Even if they say, oh yeah, nobody was home, they're definitely going to take a look at that and make sure it's not a barn. That is a single family home. That is a single family home. And people are talking about Topanga, far cry from Malibu, things like that. I don't know if you're talking about home prices or that's beautiful. But if that's what you're talking about, it's yeah, Lewis. Let's play that game. Let's play that game. So at any rate. You know, what's going on right here is they're just trying to get as much water on it as possible. Clearly, they are concerned about vegetation, and you can see that they are making great progress. Just from the times that we've been here, we saw that. Oh, you guys, you're just clearly you have no idea who I am. But at any rate, it's all good. There you can see they got some of the brush response teams out there. The crews, camp crews is what they call them. These guys, you know, talk about hard work. They are the ones that really put in the effort out there. But of course, right now they've got to get that fire pretty much knocked down. They got to cool down, and then there's somebody. They're going to go in, and they're going to make sure that there is nobody in there at some point. Again, this is a small home, two-story home, but it's still pretty small up here at the top of the Topanga Canyon State Park area off of Saddleback Road. LA County Fire doing an amazing job knocking down those flames quickly and, of course, keeping those, that fire from spreading to any of the vegetation nearby. Oh, they're just anywhere? Well. He's going to do one more drop before he leaves. Yeah, he's going to do one more drop. There you go. We're not that far behind on the internet. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate that. Everybody loves to pass judgment. That's probably what they all do down there. Everybody's kind of just looking and trying to figure out what's going on and just writing down what they want to write down. It's all good, and that's one of the reasons why we love the internet so much. I'm being serious about that. Everybody gets a voice. Everybody can write something, and we all get to share it and see what other people are thinking, good or bad or whatever, indifferent. It's just, that's just the way of the world, and you know what? It is a good thing if you take it in a positive light. But at any rate, this fire really starting to slow down out here. We could see the smoke. Adam, the pilot, at the tiller today, he was basically pointing out the smoke plume from before Van Nuys. We were actually out in doing a different story at San Fernando. He just did another drop right there, but they're just cooling vegetation. The helicopters are going to drop some more water, then they're going to be heading back to Whiteman. That's the airport where they are based out of. And but those guys on the ground, they've got a tough job ahead of them. They've still got a lot of fire to knock down. You can see that bulk of the fire still in that back part of the house down there. And of course, ladders and using their trucks the way that we would see them in a more urban situation, it's probably not that, it's not possible. They can't get the trucks close enough to the structure, and it also might be an issue with how far they can lean those ladders over. Right now, two-story home out here. This is off of Saddleback. There's going to be Topanga Canyon State Park. LA County firefighters down there, men and women, doing an amazing job knocking down these flames. Of course, the big question is, was anybody home? Is anybody home? What's going on there? Right now, as far as we can tell, that they haven't even started what they call the primary search yet. They're going to have to knock down a lot more of that fire. Of course, there are neighbors, even though they might not be right next door. But in these type of situations, usually the neighbors are much more neighborly. So perhaps they have information that the house is a vacation home or something along those lines. And maybe they have information that nobody was home. But even if, of course, LA County Fire is going to have to make their way in there and do a search just to make sure that, you know, maybe somebody was hiding in that house or squatting in there. Oh, gosh only knows. But Right now, we have no information on any injuries. LA County Fire still down there on the ground. Their helicopters and aerial and also fixed wing, meaning the super scoopers, they were called to the fire, but they have been released because this is a structure fire, not a vegetation fire. We talked about it earlier on when we first got here about why the helicopters and you know, the super scoopers just don't drop water on that building or on the bulk of the fire. There's actually a lot. That water weighs a lot. We've seen demonstrations in the 8 pounds a gallon from Vinny back there, and you got to figure that plane or aircraft is moving at some maybe 40, 50 miles an hour if it's a helicopter, and dropping a good amount of water. We've seen them smash vehicles. They've done displays where they've dropped them on vehicles and basically smashed cars with that water. And that amount of water coming down on a house that's on fire, that's going to create a lot of issues. The structure might break apart. Fire could literally, pieces of burning wood could go blowing in any direction. And this is a very tinder dry area right now. We are in fire season. So that's the reason why they just don't drop water on the building directly. We heard they were released, but it looks like one of the helicopters still out here dropping water around the structure, probably just trying to keep all that vegetation cool. The guys and gals on the ground down there, well, they're tasked with how to get those hose lines in place and get that fire out as quickly as possible. And of course, they've got, we already seen it, they've got the brush fire response out there. They've got the camp crews out there. So they're already in place. If there's any vegetation that catches fire, these guys and gals will be out there and they'll start cutting line and making sure that that vegetation fire doesn't spread. Light winds today, cooler temperatures, huge plus for firefighters and also for the fire situation. But right now, this single family home up here at the very peak of Topanga Canyon State Park. So we're at the very, very top, which is also a plus for fire. You know, that means the vegetation it won't catch vegetation that'll run up a hillside because we're pretty much at the top. The actual street is Saddleback, and I don't remember the actual numbers, but we're basically at the very top of the hill here off of Saddleback Road. Ooh. It's funny, the picture catches up, but the comments don't. Like the picture is just a few seconds behind Vinny. See, he's going to go wide, but the comments don't catch up, which is all right. Oh, I have no internet right now. These guys are getting a good handle on it. And you didn't see any like cars in the driveway or anything like that, right? Yeah, I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. Older walk-up type of situation. Yeah. Oh, there looks like a civilian. Civilian-esque. See. Nope, that's a sheriff. Deputy. This thing was going when we pulled up. I don't know if that was for this one. Somebody just said secondary search negative. I don't think anybody's in there. Getting a little more internet. I'm seeing some of the comments and stuff. Again, if you guys are just joining, the fire pretty much almost out. I don't know how that works with the live feeds, if you can rewind it and see it from the very, very beginning, but was well involved. Two-story home up here. This is going to be in the Topanga Canyon State Park area off of Saddleback, very apex of one of the mountains out here. So, and there's very light winds this afternoon as well. Now, LA County Fire, they were tasked with putting this fire out. They've done an amazing job out here. Al, I will get to your question about ride-alongs in just a moment. Oh, if I ever rode out with the fire crews, I'll talk about that too. But basically what we're seeing right now is LA County Fire battling to put out these flames. Older structure, all wood, and it was fully involved in fire when we first arrived out here. And when I say we first arrived out here, the ground crews, one of the fire trucks, basically just pulled up about the same time we did. Helicopters, they had two LA County Fire helicopters out here dropping water on the vegetation around the building, and they basically were there to keep this from spreading to that vegetation. The fire itself pretty much contained to that one building out there. Now, of course, life is on everybody's mind. We're not sure, but we understand that there was nobody inside that house when that fire broke out. We're going to keep an ear on that, see if that changes at any time. We know no injuries to any firefighters. LA County Fire still down there battling the flames. This is going to be off of Saddleback, is going to be the street name out here. And again, LA County Fire doing an amazing job containing those flames. But in that same breath, we also had very light winds today, so the vegetation could not catch fire, and also cooler temperatures. That all works in the firefighters' favor. Somebody was asking about doing ride-alongs with LA County Fire. I did get to do shoulder-to-shoulder work on a training mission with some of those camp crews down there, and I can tell you, even on the internet, it kicked my butt. I was going to use the A word, but I'm just telling you, it kicked my butt. We were just, it was training, and they were taking it easy on me. What those guys do during a real fire, hiking up those hillsides with the gear, and usually hotter temperatures, and then having to do all that back-breaking work out here. Amazing what those guys have to do for their job, for their daily job. It is, it's just, I'm in awe, and I don't think they get enough love from the media. We always look at the firefighters, and then we look at that guy on the ladder, and he always gets the hero shot. And then, of course, when there's brush fires, it's the aircraft dropping stuff. But these guys right there, he's kind of taking it easy right now. But those are the guys that really, really do the back-breaking work. And when it's a brush fire, they're the ones mainly that are involved with those numbers when you hear those containment numbers. This is not a brush fire. This is a structure fire out here in the Topanga Canyon State Park area. And you can see that house, pretty much a total loss out there. This is a distance to get to. Even LA County Fire, where they have fire stations posted nearby, it takes a while to get up to that hilltop. They did see the smoke earlier on, as did SkyFOX. Adam was calling it out basically from even north of Van Nuys as we made our way over to this direction. But at any rate, smoke is still there. The smoke's turning white. The bulk of that fire knocked down. No vegetation caught right now. They are going to keep an eye on it because embers could be carried in that smoke. So I'm sure that camp crew is going to be hanging out here for a while. And did they catch the guy from? I don't know what you mean, Sandy. I don't know. Catch the guy from what? Oh, from yesterday. I don't know. I was home when all that happened, and I saw the helicopters near my house. So, but at any rate, you can see that the firefighters, pretty much those guys on standby. They might be doing a little something there just to make sure that there is no spread, but there isn't right now. And of course, after the bulk of that fire knocked down, they're going to have to make their way inside that structure just to make sure that there is nobody in there, and we're hoping that there is nobody in there. Simon Des, just checking in to see what you would like us to do. And crickets. Huh? This fire is out. SkyFOX calls this a knockdown. SkyFOX, Simon Desk. Standing by. Standing by for a standby. If that was a short bed, it probably wouldn't be sitting there in that field. Somebody would have scooped that up a long time ago. Well, that's an older Ford, right? That's a 60-something, early 60s. And that line that you guys just saw that went through the pictures, if you picked that up, that was actually heat from the Firehawk that just flew by.